Thank you guys for joining in here with us. My name is Rick. I'm Growth Community Manager, and I try to put together these actionable micro lessons for you guys. So the goal is we're going to do 20 minutes of lesson, and we're going to teach you guys something useful. In this case, we're going to be talking about optimizing customer journeys and talking about it as a guide to HubSpot Lifecycle stages. And joining me, I have Jason. He'll introduce himself in a little bit. Once again, thank you guys for coming. Please feel free to use the chat. Please feel free to ask questions. We're here for you. Jason, all yours.
Thanks, Rick. And thank you to Growth. You guys set this all up. Rick orchestrated it. Really appreciate you for that. And then I've got to come up with some content. Luckily, Rick helped quite a bit. And so, yeah, we're going to be talking about optimizing that customer journey within HubSpot and how important lifecycle stages are. One thing I want to caution you on, it is dangerous out there, so don't go it alone. Bonus points if you can put in chat what game this is. Just saying. Anyway, this is some key important information we're going to go over. But first, who the heck am I? As Rick said earlier, my name is Jason. I'm located in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's a little chilly and rainy today. I am lucky enough to be one of a handful of HubSpot certified trainers, and Growth considers me a solutions architect, so I'm going to take that all day. Big RevOps promoter. I know that's a bit of a buzzword, but anytime we can tear down those silos, I think it's extremely important. And then, according to my 9-year-old, I'm a legendary father, or at least the best one he's ever had. So love that. So let's jump into what we're going to cover today. And we're going to start with marketing versus non-marketing contacts. It is crucial that we understand how we reach out to our contacts in HubSpot. So we're going to go through that. Then we can hop into life cycles, stages, lead status, deal stages, and how they in sync together. A little foreshadowing, stay tuned. And are we touching the contact at the right time? And how are we optimizing HubSpot to do that? So one tool we like to use is Miro. And this is not too ugly, but it's not the prettiest thing. I'm not much of a designer, but we start at the top left with a subscriber and we go all the way down through actually getting a customer. And we use this as a partner to HubSpot when we onboard. And what we do with this is we really identify at each stage what requirements are needed to go to the next stage. And we even call out the automations. So we have extreme detail of everything and it's customized to everyone. So we're going to take a step back from this, though. We're going to look at it a little different way. We're going to break it down Barney style like a big purple dinosaur and talk about understanding marketing contacts. Again, depending on being a HubSpot partner, being new to HubSpot, using HubSpot, depending on what tier you come into, you have a certain bank of marketing contacts. And that's important to know because that's what HubSpot charges you for. So what is a marketing contact? It is someone that you plan to engage with via a marketing tool. Remember, marketing is different than sales, and we'll touch on that a little bit more. But it's really when you as a marketer or your marketing team wants to maximize your effort and reach out to a group of many people. So that's what a marketing contact is. And the best way to think about it is to really simplify it and say, do I want to market to these contacts? And if the answer is yes, then they're a marketing contact. If the answer is no, then they're a non-marketing contact. The question comes up, Jason, why would we ever have non-marketing contacts in our CRM? There's several reasons. There's people that might not be interested that we could spark their interest again. There are vendors, there are partners, there are many other people that we want to track and manage, but we don't necessarily want to market to them. So again, marketing versus non-marketing. Marketing contacts are one to many. Non-marketing contacts are a one-to-one. So think of even like a sales outreach possibly or sales sequences, but that's a whole nother story altogether. So because we have a limited amount of marketing contacts, it's important that we manage that. And my best recommendation is to have a workflow around that. So it's a contact-based workflow that basically says, hey, if the marketing contact status is marketing contact, and this will be available afterwards, I believe. If not, I'm sure Rick will find a way to share it.
For sure, they can count on it.
Cool. And building this workflow in HubSpot allows us to clear up our leads, right? So if they are a marketing contact lead, I want to delay the workflow for 6 months. A little arbitrary depending on your business. But then we want to if then branch. And we want to say if in 6 months they did not open any marketing contacts, marketing emails, or do a certain thing, let's set them to non-marketing. So we're going to clean those out. If they did open it, let's keep them around. Let's continue to market to them and try to get them into an MQL, SQL, marketing qualified lead, sales qualified lead. One other thing that if you really are into spicing up your life, before you switch them over to non-marketing contacts, you can always just send out one final email that says, hey, we haven't heard from you. Are you still interested in X, Y, or Z? Does a few things. One, it gives them a last chance kind of effort, a win back, if you will. And two, you can actually optimize that email to help segregate their persona type. And then you can, if they did not open it, hit a resend, still didn't open, let's move them to non-marketing. So that's the marketing versus non-marketing idea. Again, crucial, very important to know as we go into life cycle stages, lead status, deal stages. Oh my. So I know it's cheesy, and trust me, I got the dad jokes to back it up. So again, what we're going to do here is take a step back. It's very important that we do this maybe on a whiteboard, or you want to think about these things going into it as we're setting up the HubSpot. Who do you send your information to? I mean, just think about your business and who are you reaching out to? Who is your prospective client? What is their engagement level and how are they responding to that engagement? And then at what level of prospect engagement are you sending different types of information? Think of, are they in the market for your product? Is there a job to be done right now that they need? Or are they just kind of looking around and somewhat interested? Imagine someone wanting information about your blog and found your article and found it interesting versus someone that wants to buy your product or service. We're going to engage at a different level. So that's important when we walk into life cycle stages, because life cycle stages within HubSpot is how we categorize all of our contacts and companies and where they are in your marketing and sales process. And what's crucial with this is when it's set up correctly, we can engage in a very intentional way with targeted interactions. And really one of the workhorses behind HubSpot is the automations and making sure we're reaching out to the people at the right time. So next we'll kind of run through some of the stages. Everything I'm sharing here, HubSpot comes with out of the box. There are some that we highly recommend tailoring to your own business. For the most part, the life cycle stages are pretty neat where they are. They're very useful. But let's walk through the stages. So someone starts their subscriber. I'm looking for a widget, and I look on Google, I find this blog, and it turns out it's your blog. And it's pretty cool. So I want to keep up to date with you. I don't know who you are. I'm not interested in everything. I just like this one thing. So I'm going to sign up for blog updates. I'm going to sign up for your newsletter or product changes, something simple. And we're going to build an automation to keep engaging. The goal here is we want to go from subscriber to lead. And a lead is someone that does a little bit more. Someone that filled out a form that would, hey, how does this work? Or is this available? And that's where we want to get some customized information. And as we go into the next stage, we're starting to build a persona around them. Personas are super important. They're great to market to different people. You can have a persona where Rick is interested in beach stuff because he's in Florida, and I'm interested in cold weather gear because I'm in Michigan, whatever that may be. But all that is another webinar, another day we can go through, because then we can start sending qualified marketing material to those people based on their interests, right? So that's an MQL, or a marketing qualified lead, someone who is interacting with our marketing, someone that is looking at our socials, someone that is opening the marketing emails, and we're driving additional engagement. Whole goal of this process is to move them to the next level. Kind of a trend there. So from that, we want to get them to an SQL. We want to get them to a sales qualified lead in HubSpot. This is someone who is ready to be engaged by your sales team. And again, we can start using sales sequences to start to really reach out to those people and engage them in very productive ways. But again, it's a whole nother story altogether. So when we get to the SQL stage, we get our first little change in the way we're going to operate. Because now we have a sales qualified lead. We need to engage that lead. So we're going to start assigning a lead status. So if we're thinking about that, how do you measure lead engagement? Is the contact really ready for sales? What have they done leading up to that? Are they engaged? Do they really meet your sales qualified requirements? And that's dependent on your company, your needs. But if you can say yes to these, then we need to assign the additional deal stages. And these should be highly customized. Deal stages are the sub stages of an SQL. So a sales qualified lead, we then attribute lead stages to. So we're saying this is a new lead, where this is a lead we're working, this is a lead that doesn't work, and we'll get into that more. But again, this should be customized to your level so we know what that lead is doing and what your sales team is working on with them. So again, the goal is, hey, sales team did their job. We now identify a legitimate opportunity here. An opportunity is when we find something, and by the way, we're leaving lead stages when we come back to life cycle stages. An opportunity is one that there's something here. There's a monetary value identified. There is a legitimate deal that we need to track, and we're going to use the deal pipeline for this opportunity. And we really want to think seriously, is there a deal? Don't create a deal to have a deal. Is there an estimated value? It doesn't have to be perfect. This is what we think it's going to be. Here's an estimated close date, something that we can work with. And general rule of thumb is it BANT qualified, right? Have we identified the budget, authority, need, timeline, or whatever else you use in your industry? Hey, this is a legitimate deal. So then we enter the deal pipeline, and we're identifying different deal stages. And it really tracks the different stage of the deal until hopefully it's closed won and not closed lost. And what HubSpot does really well is there's a probability to close, or likelihood to close, which is great for forecasting, which is only as good as your data. But the forecasting tool in HubSpot is very powerful in that way, and this is part of that. But again, Rick, I guess we got another webinar coming up. So SQL opportunity, everything goes well. We're back to life cycle stages. We got to close one deal. Okay, now we're a customer. The deal equals closed one. We want to continue to engage that customer on product updates, on service updates, new rollouts. And then hopefully what we all get to, evangelist, someone who loves your company, who wants to be part of a referral program, who is doing the work of marketing, the word of mouth that we all hope to get. So I really want to make sure we're synced up here, and I want to get us all in sync. Okay. Forgot audio was off for everybody. So how does it all sync together? How does it come together? Let's look at a more visual part of this. And this is how all those life cycle stages connect. So at the top, we start with subscriber. Obviously, we know we do what we need to hit there. We come into a lead. We're continuing to nurture to a marketing qualified lead. Then they get a sales qualified lead. And again, this is where we jump out and we start working the lead status. So now the life cycle stage stays as SQL, but we're now adjusting the lead status property or field in HubSpot. And working on the lead status, it always comes up on new. And the prospecting tool in HubSpot is great. It's going to show you this information. You can adjust that. So I guess that's like the fourth webinar we got to do, Rick. Appreciate that. And we're going to say, hey, sales team, this is a new lead. We need to do something with it. So we're going to start the outreach and we're going to say this is open. We're working this. It's, oh, this is unqualified. We can't get a hold of them. We connected. Bad timing. All of these, again, should be highly customized to your business, your industry, your company. But it allows us to track where that lead is and what's happening with it. And if it's bad timing, we automate a way to follow up in 3 months, 30 days, whatever that may be. If they're unqualified, why are they unqualified? And then use that data really to enrich your marketing, right? Are we reaching the right people or are we everyone's unqualified? Why are they unqualified? Let's find out. So there's a lot of data that goes in behind this, but again, we don't have all day. So again, the goal is open deal, qualified something, because then we go back to the opportunity life cycle stage. There's a legitimate opportunity here where we're going to work in the deal pipeline. The deal pipeline, so that's my best Mario I could build, but there's stop signs between your deal stages. That means that we need information to go to the next, or we need requirements prior. So we can build those in HubSpot. So again, these are the standard. You should always customize this to your needs in your deal pipeline, excuse me. The appointment scheduled, and again, we see 20% there. That's saying there's a 20% probability that this will close. Crucial information. That's what we need to go and forecast the future. But if we wanted to, we can't get to qualified to buy because we hit stop here. Maybe we need to know something. Maybe this is where the BANT happens, right? The budget authority need time frame. Then we can go to presentation scheduled. We're a little bit more sure of ourselves at 60, DM bought in, contract sent. But as the infamous Will on our team will tell you, you can send a contract, but it doesn't mean you're closed won. So we can't go to the next stage till we get that contract. Again, we hit that stop sign, and that's what HubSpot does so well is, hey, nothing happened. We're 7 days in. Set up an alert, set up a reminder, set up a task, send up an email, reach back out to that contact. Why isn't it closed? And then Will, of course, would say, hey, got it done. It's taken care of. We closed one, which we love. But once in a while, there's a close lost. So you got to measure that as well, and maybe a close lost reason. So again, everything goes to plan. They are closed won. They become a customer, and then hopefully an evangelist that just promotes the heck out of your product, your service, your company. So again, I can't say it enough. Automations are your friends. I've never watched the entire series. My wife I think she's watched it twice during the whole Corona whatever thing. So not for me, but okay. Just remember, automations are your friends. We want to think about what information do you need before we go to the next stage? What information has to happen there? And you can draw this out on a marker board. You can draw it out wherever, but think about what requirements do you need before you get there? And when you're there, what do you need to know before we do the next or the prior? So that's incredibly important to always consider. Using HubSpot for those workflows is the reason you're buying into it. It's not just a Rolodex. That's what workflows are for. And then previously I brought up, what about vendors? What about partners? These non-marketing contacts, where do these live? A lot of people think, well, let's set the life cycle stage to other. So no, that's not going to happen. And my son helped me pick out the right picture for this to match his birthday recently when he turned 9. Don't even think about it. The kid's 9 and he's all Doge. He asked for Dogecoin for his birthday. Listen, we don't want to other. It's gonna junk everything up. It's gonna clutter. Call it vendors, call it partners, call it other agencies, but make it custom so it's not just other. All right. I think we're about on time here, maybe a minute long. Want to go through again, life cycle stages, lead status, deal pipeline, or deal stages. That is what gets us the right engagement at the right time. We can use these to engage with your audience at the appropriate time and use those automations to optimize that customer journey. It's going to do the work of 100 people, I don't know, thousands of people, whatever you want to call it, but it's going to help you. We want to go through that. And with that, I wanted to include several resources. HubSpot has an amazing learning academy. Check it out. They've got tons of materials. The knowledge base is huge. The articles are great. A little bit more about growth and a selfless plug there. And then with that, I really want to turn it back over to Rick, see if we had any questions.